A very warm good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. Priyanka Dobal, Associate Professor, Department of Community Medicine, on behalf of Team GBMC Dehradun, would like to welcome all of you on this crucial and awakening session on cybersecurity awareness in healthcare by Cybersecurity Association of India. We are privileged and delighted to have among us our esteemed Dr. Omkar Singh Sir, Vice Chancellor, Hemwati Nandan Mahuguna, Uttarakhand Medical Education University, and Veer Madhav Singh Bhandari, Uttarakhand Technical University, Dehradun, as our chief guest. We welcome you, sir. We are indeed elated and happy to welcome our very own and much loved Dr. Geeta Jan ma'am as an epitome of humility, quiet confidence and efficiency, a gynecologist par excellence with excellent service as a principal of GBMC. We welcome you, ma'am. We express our heartfelt gratitude and happiness that we have among us the Professor N.K. Goyal sir, who is the President, Cybersecurity Association of India and Association of India Communication, Multimedia and Infrastructure, and Chairman of Telecom Equipment Manufacturer Association. We welcome you, sir. We are also delighted to have among us Mr. Vijay Gaur, who is Director General of Cybersecurity Association of India. We welcome you, sir. We are delighted to have among us Mr. Saurabh Singhal, who is the Director of Cybersecurity Association of India. We welcome you, sir. We are also welcoming Mr. Navdesh Kumar, ED and CPO, CSAI. We welcome you, sir. We are indeed delighted and joyous to have among us Ms. Niharika Raj Chauhan, ma'am, who is the DGM Cyber Psychology of Cybersecurity Association of India. We welcome you, ma'am. Now, without much delay, I would like to invite Principal ma'am to please felicitate with the planter to our Honorable VC sir. Now I would like Mr. Kapil sir to please felicitate Mr. N.K. Goyal sir. Please, sir. Kapil sir, I would like to welcome you. Please come on stage. Now I would like to invite Dr. Anupama Arya ma'am to felicitate Mr. Saurabh Singhal sir. So please come on stage. Now I would like to invite Mr. Rajiv Pushpa sir to please come and felicitate the N.K. Goyal sir, President CSI, for the welcome address.
थैंक यू वेरी मच। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर जी का, स्कूल का, आप सबका, सबसे ज़्यादा आप सबका, क्योंकि आप देश के भविष्य हैं और हमारे बाद हमारे बच्चों को, बच्चों के बच्चों का आप लोगों ने ट्रीट करना है, सेव करना है इस संसार में। और मैं स्टार्ट में अपनी तरफ से वाइस चांसलर जी और गीता मैडम जी को सौंप देना चाहता हूँ। वैसे तो यहाँ काफी आपके स्टाफ के फैकल्टी बैठे हुए हैं और मैंने देखा था बच्चों की तालियां ना अलग अलग आ रही थी फैकल्टी के खाने में, कभी कम कभी ज्यादा। एक राज्य के पास सबसे ज्यादा आई थी, लेकिन मैं ये सौर करूँ डॉक्टर शिव को कि हमारे कोऑर्डिनेटर है।
For a word of wisdom. Please come on the stage, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor of Arts, the head of the cybersecurity, Professor N.K. and all the 11 members will be speaking and telling you about cybersecurity. My faculty, Professor Naveen Kapiyal Sir, HOD Pathology, Professor Shalabh Johri, HOD Microbiology, Professor Rajiv Kushwaha, HOD Biochemistry, Dr. Anupma Arya, Professor in HOD Community Medicine, Dr. Shiv, the coordinator, Dr. Richa, Associate Professor in Community Medicine, Dr. Ankita, all the other staff and all my dear students. So this needs no mention that all of you are aware, cybersecurity is a very important thing that we all should know. I'll just give you an incident that happened with me. A call came and it came from a bank and the logo of bank was also displayed. And he said, ma'am, your KYC is due and please get it done and I'll help you done. The only thing which got me into it was that the logo of the bank was there. So I thought this must be a genuine call. And he kept on asking and I kept on giving him OTPs. And the thing is, the only reason I kept on giving is कि मुझे ना बैंक भी जाना पड़ेगा, मेरा टाइम बच जाएगा, मेरे 2-3 घंटे बचेंगे. I ended up losing 1 lakh rupees. So that is the reason I say that all of you of us should be aware of cybersecurity, how we should be very vigilant while giving OTPs. Ideally, our OTPs should never be given to anyone else, anybody. Maybe even if he or she poses as your friend or your parent or your whatever. And all our computers, laptops, mobiles, they all should be protected with passwords. So without taking much of your time, I think I'll hand over the stage to Professor N.K. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for throwing the light on this topic and sharing your experiences with us. Now, as we proceed further, I would like to request Professor N.K. Goyal sir to enlighten us and to focus on the background of the study. Thank you, sir.
देखिए वैसे तो मैंने काम आपकी प्रिंसिपल मैडम ने कर दिया है। अगर हमारी प्रिंसिपल मैडम गवर्नमेंट मेडिकल न्यू कॉलेज की भी हैक हो जाती है तो हम सबकी तो क्या औकात है। और यही आज का हमारा टॉपिक है। और स्पेशली इस इवेंट के लिए सबसे पहले तो हमारे डीसी साहब इतने पैशनेट थे कि हम इनके यहाँ उत्तराखंड यूनिवर्सिटी में आते थे, तो उन्होंने बोला कि आप यहाँ तो आते हो, हमारे मेडिकल कॉलेज में नहीं आते। तो 1 घंटे में हमारा प्रोग्राम बन के आपके पास आ गए, क्योंकि आपके प्रोफेशन में एक यूनिक चीज़ है जो और नहीं है। साइबर इफेक्ट सबको करता है, बट आपको उनसे ज़्यादा करता है। नंबर 1 तो आपको लोग भगवान मानते हैं। भगवान लोग किसी और को नहीं मानते, न पुजारी को, न पंडित को, न किसी और को, आपको भगवान मानते हैं। आपके दिमाग में प्रेशर होता है मरीज को ठीक करना है, ये सबसे यूनिक चीज़ है। और उसके साथ साथ आपको साइबर सिक्योरिटी की चीज़ों को भी ख्याल रखना है, जैसे मैंने बताया। दूसरी प्रॉब्लम हमारे आती है इंस्टीट्यूट के साथ कि हमारे कॉलेज में जो IT सिस्टम है वो कैसे सेफ रहे। तो इस बैकग्राउंड को लेकर हम लोगों ने आज का प्रोग्राम बनाया है, और इस प्रोग्राम को और भी जितने कॉलेज हैं गवर्नमेंट की सब जगह जाने वाले हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite for the inaugural address our Professor Dr. Onkar Singh, Vice Chancellor, sir, to enlighten us.
Good afternoon to each one of you, Principal of the Government Women Medical College of India, faculty members, the guests who are present over here, and the officials from Cyber Security Association of India. It's my second opportunity when I am standing in front of you in this hall. So after starting looking after the responsibility of this HMP, Uttarakhand Medical Education University, when I came across the kind of cross-section which we have in the medical education, I thought it appropriate to contribute whatever little I can through the technology side. It's not the hardcore technology which is going to be of any use to you in your profession, but it's something which will be worthwhile for you in all of your day-to-day activities. So it's going to be part and parcel of your life, because the cyber security aspect is very crucial and very critical, especially for the developing economies, where the developed economies are trying to rule the whole segment. See, you might not be concerned about how your data is being used. Every search which you make in the Google or any search engine, the data gets captured at some location. You just imagine the volume of the data which somebody has, and if he or she wishes to misuse it, what's going to be the consequence? You might have seen last year, the whole of the operation of airlines got stopped. All the functions were down. Airlines were off the track. The reason was that there was a glitch in the updation of the security protocol. So that affected the whole canvas. So you must understand whether it is relevant for you in your profession or not. But as a citizen and as a part of the humanity of the day, it's very pertinent to be aware of the associated aspects of the digitalization and technological advancements which we are undertaking. We keep on referring to the extensive use of artificial intelligence and cyber physical systems, but we have to see the flip side of it. Does it really have all securities associated with it or not? So today's topic, which I requested Mr. Goyal to please take care of, that is to make a small cross-section aware of the cyber security aspects. And you might have seen that since last many months, even the governments have also been trying their level best to make citizens aware of the cyber security aspect, because of the digital arrests happening like anything. So every day, each one of you will be receiving some prank calls. Sometimes when you get trapped, so you are in great loss. So you have to see how to be safe from all these nuances which are going to be there around you. Another thing which I want to highlight, that the sessions which are going to be there in, after me, they will be simply creating awareness. They are not going to give you any solution. The solution lies in each one of us. If we are concerned and we are careful, no harm can happen to us. So very similar to your own human physiology, if you are careful about the surroundings, what is happening around the surroundings, if your health is safe because of your own awareness and concern, your surroundings, awareness about the surroundings will also keep you safe from the societal interventions which may affect you if you are careless. So the cybersecurity awareness initiative has been taken up by the Uttarakhand Technical University, and one by one we are going to touch up all the institutions which are showing interest, and we want our students to be the ambassador for the cybersecurity awareness, irrespective of the domain in which you are. Whether you are from the medical education, you are from simple liberal arts education, or science education, or engineering education, the role of creating awareness to those who are not aware of the technology and they consider it as a panacea, that becomes our responsibility. As an educated member of the society and as a part of and as a fortunate human being who has this opportunity to be aware of the technological advancements and the things happening around us, it is our onerous responsibility to make our own community aware of such things. So at the end of this session, if this whole initiative is in a position to create awareness in your minds, and through you, each one of you, if perform it well and you act as a multiplier, perhaps gradually we will be in a position to make whole of the society aware of the bad things which the technology has associated with it. There is no problem in using technology, advancing technology, using it for the best of the humanity, but always you will have some mischievous elements in the society who will try to misuse it. So the exploitation of the technology for the benefit of some individuals at the cost of someone should be stopped, and this initiative is a part of that, and I wish all the best to the organizers and especially to the administration and principal of the Noor Medical College for acceding to the initiative which has been proposed by us, and I am confident that these doctors who are sitting over here, they will be communicating the message down the line, and if each one of you does it, maybe say you communicate it to 2 or 3 more persons, we will have a huge number getting aware of the cybersecurity aspects. Wish you all the best. Thanks for organizing it. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for sensitizing us about the importance of cybersecurity in medical field. Now, proceeding further, I would like to invite Mr. Vijayan God, who is Director General of CSAI, to give us an insight on the cybersecurity awareness.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। यहाँ पर जोश कम नजर आ रहा है मुझे। गुड इवनिंग। गुड इवनिंग टीचर्स, प्रोफेसर्स, प्रिंसिपल मैम, वाइस चांसलर साहब। I am here to speak on cybersecurity and to tell you few steps how you can mitigate or how you can escape from any kind of cyber incident in future. In general ways, when we speak about cyber security, the first thing what we learn is nothing but cyber crime, the financial crime, what is happening around us in general terms. Specifically, digital arrest or maybe UPI fraud or these kind of activities which are generally happening and being done by the financial crime guys, the criminals, cyber criminals. But there is another side of it too. When you being an individual, having a lot of data, potential data with you, you also have money in your account, so that's your personal information and personal money. But where else it comes to the infrastructure of the government, there is a lot of data which has been held with the government. or the organizations which you deal with on day-to-day basis. If you see the healthcare sector, I'll just give you the example of healthcare sector. These days we have got all the clinical records maintained so that we can retrieve that particular information to make the medicine or to get a remedy or to predict any sort of information out of the medical field, so that the future diseases or maybe something like COVID, a pandemic, can be mitigated automatically on proactive basis. If you see the other way, different ministries of India, not only India, across the globe, are having different kind of data with them. If you see Ministry of Finance, they are dealing with lots of data of income tax, plus banking information, plus UPI, bank sector, bank account, and other things. Plus your Aadhaar information, plus few other things. If you see the power sector, you have altogether a different data. You have your, the meter number. You have got the prepaid meters these days, so they are IoT devices, Internet of Things. So they communicate with internet, and automatically the prepaid meters actually work on internet. So that is another part. That is another data. Over there also, your phone number, your name, your home address. For that matter, who is your neighbor? Each and every kind of information, your financial details, because you make the payments through bank or maybe cash or maybe UPI. They also deal with a lot of data. So similarly, every department or every institution or every organization is dealing with a different kind of data. And right here, as we have the challenges, Shri Ajit Doval, the Chief, I would say, National Security Advisor, raised a flag a couple of years ago, stating a problem that we need an agency who can actually support the system on non-biased form and support the students to learn the digital things, upskill the existing officers, get the best of the best products to the market to mitigate the cyber security risk which is involved on a day-to-day basis, and also to support the government agencies in case of any requirement, in case of any emergencies. So that is where exactly I would like to introduce our organization, which is Cyber Security Association of India. So this is a general introduction of what I can actually give you. The Cyber Security Association of India is a multi-stakeholder consortium that brings together corporate, state, central government, academics, defense organizations, MNCs, PSU, intelligence agencies, and enforcement agencies. CSCI's mission is to improve the state cybersecurity both domestically and internationally. CSCI provides consistent voice for industry regarding the cybersecurity policies at the national level and collaborate on the special projects and address emerging threats. By now, we have, supported, all the ministries by giving them the compliances, rules, regulations, support, and also not only that, we have helped them in operational activities. Apart from that, we have supported them with, giving them the best of the best tools to mitigate the cyber risk, cyber attacks, and cyber crimes. And majority of the people associated with us are from the government division, and that's one of the best things. And all the key stakeholders and the top officials of CSCI hold expertise into cyber from government, from PSU, and also from private sector. Now, this is our core team, headed by our leadership by Lieutenant General Rajesh Pant, retired, who is former National Cyber Security Coordinator of PMO, Government of India. And he is leading us as a chairman, and under his mentorship and guidance, we are moving ahead in the future. Then it comes to Shri Professor N.K. Goyal, President Cyber Security Association of India, and he is one man who allows us to speak and doesn't speak much on any of the subject. Then we have Shri M.A. K.P. Singh, Vice Chairman CSCI and former Chief Information Security Officer of Ministry of Power. And we also have Navtesh Goyal ji, who is the CEO right here. Unfortunately, I was not having his photograph, so I could not post it. I'm sorry for that. Now, I'm going to speak about the role of, technology in medical life sciences and healthcare, which is very, very important, and that's related to your subject. As I've worked into the medical sciences field, even cybersecurity exists right here because I was a national former cybersecurity coordinator, and also, I was head of the Cybersecurity Operations Command Center for National Health Authority, Government of India. Hope you must have heard about Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. So I was heading the cybersecurity operations team for that. And as you must have seen, in the movies, that there is a team which is working on the computers virtually, artificial intelligence and various things working. Yes, it works like that, but not on the blue screens what is being shown in the movie. We do have the computers with us. So right here in the technology, we explore the transformative role of technology in medical life sciences, uncovering existing advancements and their impact on the future of medical life sciences and healthcare. Now, can you imagine what is AI doing here? What is other technology doing here? Can somebody tell me about it? Can anyone raise hand or, give me a few examples from the medical life sciences? Please? Okay.
Insulin pumps,
Absolutely.
MRI machines.
Right. Perfect. So we have a lot of machineries which are actually communicating and collecting a lot of data, clinical data, I would say. Specifically, if you see, diagnostic labs in general ways, for ages they have been doing the things manually and keeping the documentation records. But apart from that, now as we have digitalization in the last couple of years, now the reports come to you on an SMS link. Now believe me that all the data which has been collected, your blood reports, your stool reports, your urine reports, your all kind of reports, whatever you have in diagnostics, that's been collected, your X-ray, your ECG, your pulse rate, and each and every information, every second to second has been monitored. You have digital watches these days, which is keeping your health record. It's even counting your pulse every single second. In fact, I don't wear that, but yes, majority of us are using Apple Watch or maybe a smartwatch, where exactly it gives you pulse, heartbeat, how many steps have you walked, and whatnot. It's counting each and every information. If in case the oxygen quantity is less in your body, it's calculating and letting you know. If you see after smartwatches, there is a recent launch of the smart rings. Rather than watch, it's a smart ring which you can wear in your hand, and it will collect the same information as there was a watch earlier. So now, much lighter weight, but yes, the same kind of data is being collected. When we further go to hospitals, doctors usually ask us, what is the problem? What is the medicine we have been taking? What exactly happened in the history? They write each and everything. They give it to you, but that's also been documented and copied on the system, so that they can retrieve that particular information anytime and cross-check it. In case you lose your physical copy, they will have to cross-check their system with the digital records what they have. So believe me, wherever you are traveling, even for that matter, in the general term, if you go, your Google is capturing all the information. All the applications what you have in your hand are capturing different kind of information these days. Any digital, asset what you are using will capture the information. Now, I always ask one funny question to everyone wherever I go, and I hardly find one person only at the max at every event having similar kind of device. Can you tell me how many of us are having the analog cell phones without internet connectivity? How many of us?
Zero.
I have. I'm the only one. So believe me, this is one of the safest devices. And
एक्चुअली मैं चाहूँगा कि आप लोग इसका जवाब दें हमारी जगह, क्योंकि आप हमारा भविष्य में पहले था। इनका पॉइंट ये है कि एनालॉग हम फोन रखते नहीं हैं, जबकि मोस्ट सिक्योर फोन है। एनालॉग फोन हमारे XPM मनमोहन सिंह के पास था और वो कभी हैक नहीं हो पाए। जो US के प्रेसिडेंट हैं उनके पास आईफोन है, वो स्पेशली उनके वास्ते बनाया गया है। तो एनालॉग फोन यूज कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, मैं भी यूज करता हूँ, ये भी यूज करते हैं। आप लोग जवाब दें तो अच्छा रहेगा।
थैंक यू सर। तो हमारे पास में जब से डिजिटलाइजेशन हमारे पास में पिछले 25 साल से ज़्यादा होना शुरू हुआ है, 1996 के अंदर हमारे पास सेलफोन्स इंडिया में आए थे, उससे पहले पेजर्स आए थे। दैट वाज अनदर डिजिटल फॉर्म व्हाट वी हैड। सो बिलीव मी, वी हैव टू थिंक अबाउट द फ्यूचर, बिकॉज एज वी आर रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू द डिवाइसेस एंड द सॉफ्टवेयर्स, each and every software is using capturing the data. And apart from that, the best thing what we do is whenever we download any sort of application, knowingly or unknowingly, we just click on allow all and it has an access to our microphone, camera, phone book, phone directory, even to do the modifications in the software of the cell phone. And also it takes special privileged accesses out of your phone to collect your photographs, your videos and other directories too. So हम लोगों में से कितने लोग हैं जो कि एप्लीकेशन डाउनलोड करते हैं और उसके बाद में अलाउ ऑल करते हैं? प्लीज रेज योर हैंड ऑनेस्टली। आई थिंक एवरीबॉडी डज, बट मेजॉरिटी लोगों ने
बाकी लोग जो हाथ ऊपर नहीं करें, जोर से करो ना, सब करते हैं, करो, क्यों घबरा रहे हैं? सर हर एक आदमी करता है, हर एक आदमी करता है।
Good to learn from your mistakes rather than making a mistake once again. So have a learning out of it. आप अगर अपने सेलफोन को कभी देखें, आपने कभी गौर किया कि उसके टॉप राइट साइड में एक बिंदु आता है ऑरेंज कलर का या ग्रीन कलर का? कभी have you ever noticed? What does it says? If your microphone is active, it says with a color code. And if in case there is a camera which has been accessed by any application, when in use, it automatically shows you over there. But we ignore it because we do not have a knowledge, and that is what exactly kills us. Because unknowingly we are sharing the data with the application owners, with the device owners, and with multiple agencies, because these applications do share a lot of data with other agencies for money. Because in today's date, the only thing is data. As in history, we had war across the globe, with horses, elephants, and 20, 50,000 or maybe 1 lakh, people, fighting with the swords, guns, and other things. Now the war has been changed. Now there are no boundaries for the war. Now what you have is a cyber war. If you want to get any agency, any nation down on your knees, you just have to make a click. Automatically the attackers will start attacking your systems, or the artificial intelligence programmed cyber security softwares will start attacking on you, and they will capture all the information. Now believe me, what happens if there is no power in the nation? How much loss we will have? Just imagine if any server of any bank or RBI for that matter is been hacked. So किसी तरीके से किसी जमाने में जब फौज के अंदर भर्ती हुआ करती थी हजारों साल से, आज वैसे ही साइबर वॉरियर्स की जरूरत है. We need the cyber warriors from every field. Cyber security and cyber crime only speaks about defense and attack. So now, previously India used to believe that defense is the best policy, but now it has changed. We say who attacks first always wins. So make sure that you are in the attacking mode. So attacking in sense not physically attacking or doing something wrong, but make sure that you are having the skills to protect your own personal data also and protect the data of the people, those who are associated in your industry and across your sector. Now, AI and ML transforming medical practices. AI and ML are revolutionizing diagnostics by providing faster and more accurate and personalized diagnosis. Treatment optimization, personalized treatment plans, leverage AI and ML to tailor therapies to individual patients. Now, as I mentioned that once the data has been collected, you can process it anyway. There is a lot of junk also what we collect, but definitely we need to process the right data in the right way. So ultimately, when we collect a lot of data, that is when exactly artificial intelligence and machine learning comes in place. Because to program AI, we need a lot of data. And once we collect the data, that is when AI actually plays a major role. We make a language so that it can learn automatically out of the data. It can process the right output according to the data what you have fed. Now, operational efficiency is always increased. AI and ML streamline administrative tasks, improving efficiency and reducing operational cost. Now, believe me, what does Google search do? That's a simple and classic example for us. It is nothing but a combination of the searches what it makes through the web. It goes through all the web domain, collects all the data and pushes right in front of you. But now there is an advancement even in Google. Now Google has got Gemini, which is nothing but Gemini. Some people call it Gemini and some people say Gemini. Are you okay? Are you guys fine? So, Google Gemini, ChatGPT, and various other applications are one of the kind of examples what we have which processes data. And the pre-existing data with them, they were actually learning for ages, and they have compiled a lot of data, accumulated a lot of data from various places, streamlined, tailored that particular data. They have put it back into the system and they have made a capping of ChatGPT and Gemini, which exactly revolutionizes and predicts all the information you need for the future. So that is the reason it's always been said. हिंदी में कहावत थी कि जैसा बीज बोओगे वैसा पौधा होगा या पेड़ उगेगा वैसा ही फल निकलेगा. Similar way, the kind of data you will have, the similar kind of output you will have. If you have a destructive information inside the data, it will kill your future. It will give you the wrong information always. It will misguide you always. So the rise of digital healthcare services, here comes the main thing because it's all related to you guys. And seriously saying, आप लोगों को इस चीज से डील करना ही होगा और कर भी रहे होंगे. आने वाले फ्यूचर के अंदर क्या लोग अभी से जो है रिमोट लोकेशन से सर्जरीज करने लग रहे हैं. They have been guiding through artificial intelligence. They have been trying to predict if any body organ has got any sort of problem or not. आपका जो है एंडोस्कोपी रिपोर्ट्स वगैरह देख करके बेसिकली या वीडियोस देख करके आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस ऑटोमेटिकली प्रेडिक्ट कर लेता है. आपको बताने की जरूरत नहीं है कि क्या दिक्कत है क्योंकि ऑलरेडी उसके अंदर डेटा ऐसा फीड करा गया है कि वो निकाल लेता है सर. नॉट ओनली दैट, क्लिनिकल हेल्थ के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा इसके अंदर इम्पैक्ट है. टेली हेल्थ प्लेटफॉर्म्स एनेबल रिमोट पेशेंट मॉनिटरिंग एंड वर्चुअल कंसल्टेशंस. And AR, VR applications provide immense experiences for the therapies and surgical procedures. And what is VR? Can somebody tell me? Absolutely. Thank you. Digital therapies and leverage technology to deliver personalized interventions. Now, without looking at the slide, because I've been speaking on and off to all the students and I've been teaching multiple agencies. I also teach, the police officers, sometimes army officers, sometimes people from the intelligence. So ultimately, I do not have to look the presentation. So I mentioned this thing to you guys that digital watch what we had and the rings what we usually have. This usually takes a lot of data, collects it, process it for the companies, and the companies which are capturing the data, they also process it further to either sell the data to the people, those who are making the medicines or making any sort of product or making any sort of solutions for coming future. So ultimately, this is what exactly is happening. Robotics is revolutionizing surgical procedures and patient care. Advanced surgical procedures are performed with increased precision and minimal invasions. Repetitive tasks in healthcare settings are automated, freeing up human staff for complex care. Robotics are employed to assist with the patient care, providing mobility assistance and other support. As I mentioned that ECG machine for the matter, that also captures the information. And what exactly happens in coming future, if in case there is only 1% or 2% in an ambulance, if the patient is lying on the bed, still automatically robots and the machineries can take care of the the patient in coming future. No human intervention is required. So believe me, that is the future. We still have, in general sense, we have restaurants where exactly the robotic arms are being used. We have Hyderabad Airport, where exactly we have, the robotic trolley, where exactly you just have to feed the gate number and you have to show your boarding pass. Automatically, the trolley will take your luggage right in front of you and leave it nearby the gate. Personalized medicine tailoring treatments to individual needs. As I mentioned, this was one of the need, and there are a couple of agencies working on Ayushman Bharat to collect this kind of data from the rural areas for a good cause. The reason being, as we see that our nation is too wide and hardly at some villages we can reach out, specifically the villages like Mana, which is ahead of us right here. So these kind of remote areas where exactly we do not have any sort of facility, at least we can have some electronic device there which can actually capture a lot of data of the patient and give it to the doctors at the back end so that they can provide the emergency services or airlift that particular person on priority basis. So this is how exactly things are transforming. This is how Ayushman Bharat is actually increasing. Now we have, as we discussed about cybercrime, the general UPI fraud, digital fraud and other things. Now it's a little bigger game towards your organization and towards your industry, which I would like to discuss. And it will take just 10 to 15 minutes more in fact. And after that I'll have questions with all of you. I'll ask questions, and the guys, those who are going to answer the right thing will have a free, I would say membership of Cyber Security Association of India for next 1 year. So these are the case studies of cyber security breaches in India. AIMS, ransomware attack. Unfortunately, I was present in National Health Authority at that particular moment, and this particular system was throwing some sort of output, and we actually gave an intel to the AIMS team that so and so thing is happening, but unfortunately we couldn't stop it because it was not into our control, but the systems were in the control of AIMS. So ultimately we had an AIMS ransomware attack in 2022 during the COVID duration. Breach at Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, in 2023. Then we had Health Department data leak in 2021, a sequence. Pune-based healthcare startup breach 2020. COVID-19 vaccine data leak, which was somewhere I was actually into NHA after this particular incident. My role started from there. My journey in NHA started from there. When exactly, the COVID vaccine information was leaked and, we had something to monitor. Andhra Pradesh Health Department breach in 2019. So unfortunately, we had so many attacks in the healthcare sector itself. Why? healthcare data is very, very critical and important. It can spoil the life of a person, it can make life easier too at the same time. Now, key cyber threats in healthcare, which is nothing but ransomware. Ransomware is nothing but a software, a malware which is actually, been installed on your system automatically. You keep receiving the email stating that you have won a lottery of 10 million, 1 million. I think maybe the older are not even students, but maybe people of our age and little senior, they must have actually encountered these kind of emails in the past, that you have won a lottery of 10 lakh rupees or 15 lakh rupees. Please click on the link, provide your information and get the lottery. Or you must have received the email that my name is Peter Anderson and my father passed away and your name was actually mentioned, and you need to provide the information so that we can transfer you $1 million which is actually left in his account. So, हमारे देश के अंदर नहीं, पूरी दुनिया के अंदर सिर्फ 4 प्रिंसिपल के ऊपर साइबर सिक्योरिटी और सिक्योरिटी चलती है। लालच, आलस, अज्ञानता और डर। हम आलसी हैं, we humans have become lazy. So हम लोगों ने करा क्या कि हम लास्ट मोमेंट तक वेट करते हैं कि चीजें अपने आप बाद में कर लेंगे। And at the last stage, what exactly happens when we try to figure out the shortcuts? हम थोड़ा लालच में आ जाते हैं and we try to manipulate the actual route and make the mistakes. We boycott the actual life science of everything, we cut it off. उसके बाद में then once we are taking the shortcut unknowingly, क्योंकि अज्ञानता है हमारे में, we do not have 100% knowledge, nobody has, for that matter me also. So what we need to do is upskill ourselves, learn the things every single day so that you can be ahead of any other person who is your competitor, who is a cyber fraud, or maybe who is a cyber attacker, or maybe who is maybe an official from some other place. So you should be aware about each and everything happening across your circle. And the last thing is fear, which is nothing but डर. Most of the cybercrime incidents these days, specifically digital arrest, is happening on the same principle. और उसका रीजन क्या है? सबसे बड़ा रीजन ये है कि हमने पहले आलस के अंदर समय बिताया, काम नहीं किया, उसके बाद में हमने थोड़ा सा लालच लिया, शॉर्टकट मारने की कोशिश करी, और उसके बाद में अज्ञानता के मारे हमने एक रास्ता ऐसा पकड़ा जहाँ की हमसे हो सकता है कोई गलती हो गई हो, और उसी चीज का फायदा उठाता है एक साइबर क्रिमिनल. They try to exploit the vulnerabilities in the system and in the human psychology. क्योंकि हमारे में डर है. Somebody will call you and say, मैं पुलिस वाला बोल रहा हूँ, तुम कल वहां थे. You will start thinking, कल मैं वहां था, हाँ मैं था. You will start thinking, तुम वहां क्या कर रहे थे? These are, simultaneously the person will not give you time to understand what exactly is happening, and automatically you will start believing that yes, you have made an offense, and that is what exactly is the fear created by the cyber criminals in you in daily routine. So डर सबसे लास्ट चीज है, लेकिन वो सबसे खतरनाक है, and that exactly kills your money and your brain, your thought process. And believe me one thing, whenever anything is happening, take a moment, look at it, think about it, and then proceed. What we do is we rush to the problems immediately and we try to address it. Don't address it immediately. Take time, delay it. Once you're delaying, you can actually safeguard yourself and safeguard each and every information. Now, apart from ransomware, phishing attacks is basically done by the cyber criminals on the websites and other organizations, basically on the infrastructure, to gain the data. क्योंकि आज की डेट में पैसा कमाना है तो डेटा ही है जो बड़े तरीके से पैसा देगा, या फिर दूसरे तरीके से देगा कि जो साइबर क्राइम्स डेली चल रहे हैं आप लोगों के साथ में, हर किसी के साथ में हमारे देश में. So these are the things which will give them the money. So data is money, money is data. So it's a circle of 360 degrees, 180 degrees पे दोनों बैठे हुए हैं. Then data breaches, as I mentioned, data breaches are happening, and I must say insider threats. This is one of the things. Cyber attacks जितने भी होते हैं या जितनी भी गलतियां होती हैं, cyber criminals जो चीजों को exploit करते हैं, that is all because of insider threats. Insider threats का मतलब होता है किसी ने मोल सुना होगा वर्ड टर्म, कोई अगर स्पाई मूवीज देखता होगा तो everybody speaks that there is a mole in our system. So mole instance basically, a person who is actually working against that particular community or the system. या हम कह सकते हैं कि agent या spy. The same way हो सकता है कभी कभी आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कोई ऐसा बंदा हो जिसको ब्लैकमेल किया जा रहा हो और उसको मजबूर किया जा रहा हो कि you do a spying and you be an insider person to give us so and so information for this. And yes, to be honest, I will not feel ashamed saying this, that not only officers across India but across the globe are very much vulnerable to all these particular practices. And these kind of techniques are being used by secret agencies to actually figure out the critical information which is available only in classified data. So insider threats is something what we need to be aware of, and insider threat is not only proactively but by mistake also. In case you are not having a knowledge about the system, as I mentioned, if you are making a technical mistake or if you are doing anything wrong, for an instance, if you make me a doctor, I do not have a knowledge, I have a scissor. If I have to cut the stitches, rather than that I cut some vein of the patient at the surgical table, what will happen? He will die. The similar way, the knowledge is very important. So upskilling yourself every single day according to the technology, according to each and everything happening around, will keep you ahead of everything, and it will decrease the chances of insider threats. And 95% of the failures in the system, or maybe the cyber field, basically happens due to insider threats only, because we are adopting the technologies but we are not learning how to use it. The way we have the cell phones but we do not know how to operate it properly. So IoT devices vulnerabilities, as I mentioned, pacecaper for the pacecaper machine basically, which controls the heartbeat. What exactly happens if that is being connected to internet, and if some cyber criminal exploits in future, he or she can stop the heartbeat of the person who has actually used that particular machine, who is wearing that. And this is very much possible. हमने देखा होगा कि अभी इजराइल ने पेजर्स के अंदर जो है एक्सप्लोसिव डिवाइस लगा रखे थे. So just believe me, they had the knowledge, they were upskilling themselves. That is how exactly they knew one thing: to get any nation down, you need to attack on their infrastructure. What they did initially, then what they thought. The criminals actually, I would say, Lebanon वालों ने ये सोचा कि basically, we will use pagers rather than cell phones, because cell phones are capturing the geolocation. तो हम जो है pagers के ऊपर चले जाते हैं. That is the safest communication. हमारे को सिर्फ मैसेज आएगा, हमें किसी से मिलना होगा तो हम मिल लेंगे. So now what exactly happened? Israeli guys were aware of it, that हम ये उनकी supply chain काट देंगे तो उसके बाद में वो उस technology के ऊपर ही आएंगे. They do not have any other option. So they were strategically ahead, almost 2-3 years. What they did, they knew कि पेजर बनाने वाला आज की डेट में कौन होगा फ्यूचर में, उसको आगे खड़ा करो. They actually made some agencies stand and take the bids to prepare, I would say, manufacture the pagers. And pagers के अंदर explosive devices pre-installed थे along with the software. And believe me, it was not a rocket science to actually heat up a pager. It was an instant messaging system which was coded and decoded basically by a transponder and a receiver, which exactly played the major role with an explosive
small amount of explosive which exactly explode. So believe me, technology plays this kind of role. There were attacks on the cyber, the infrastructure like power and various other things in the past, even on the telecom sector. So these are few things. Now, importance of cybersecurity and healthcare. I have already spoken about this initially, so I do not want to take you to this particular, the slide. Trust and compliance is very, very important. Yes, as we are getting into the, digital era, we are transforming rapidly. In last 12 years, we have seen iPhone 3 to iPhone 16 now. The same way, believe me, we will have the faster future. In coming days, we have AI technology, which will be on the peak. Plus, we will have a quantum technology, which is nothing but, you get maybe 1 million, artificial intelligence, basically learning machines, and put them against one of the computers, which is nothing but quantum. These computers will not be able to solve that problem in at least 5 to 10 years, but that quantum computer will solve that particular problem in 5 minutes, and that is what Google has proved. The supercomputer is what we call with the AI and machine learning. That's going to be a super combination in future, जिससे कि हमें डर के रहना पड़ेगा. Target for cyber criminals are healthcare data contains sensitive personal information. As I mentioned, this is very, very common. What they can do is they can, I will give you one particular tip. Can somebody tell me why did AIMS attack took place? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody guess why?
इसका आंसर आपको देना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आप डॉक्टर
5-6 लोग दीजिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, बारी से दीजिए. I'll see who can guess it right.
You have to answer this, no scale.
It was unsecured, probably even using common platforms like Chrome and all of those.
So you are, partially correct, but there are few things otherwise we have to think about. Anyone any guesses? You can speak up. Okay, let me tell you. We think that it was technological attack, but did anyone see the geopolitical situation at that particular moment and the incidents which were happening around the globe or in India at that moment?
India had originated from China, probably had originated from somewhere in China.
Definitely, that was actually been predicted by us, and we actually mitigated that, but it took some time, 14 days, because they had penetrated into our system so deeply for ages that our systems were not ready, and we were not ready to actually accept that somebody has penetrated inside. Now, believe me, it's my personal, disclaimer, my personal information, and I would say please stop the video for single minute so that I can speak about it.